he is, to a certain extent, like him or hate him, considered here in Italy to be a real larger-than-life figure who put Italy, for better or worse, on that world stage.
A look back at the life of Silvio Berlusconi, Italy's longest-serving post-war prime minister, who's died at the age of 86. The billionaire media tycoon faced numerous scandals throughout his time in office, including a conviction for tax fraud and his notorious bunga parties. This is him reacting to a conviction for tax fraud on one of his own TV stations.
In exchange for the commitments I have made over almost 20 years in favour of my country and coming almost to the end of my public life, I receive as a reward accusations and a verdict that is founded on absolutely nothing, that takes away my personal freedom and my political rights.
Well, the tributes have been flowing in. The Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni praised his courage and determination, saying with him, Italy learned that it should never have limits imposed on it. AC Milan, the football club, tweeting, "Thank you, Mr. President, always with us." Let's go live now to Rome. Tom Kington, the Times' correspondent there. Tom, it's been a couple of hours now since the news broke. How is Italy remembering their former Prime Minister?
Well, what's interesting, I think, is the kind of unanimity across the board, the tributes coming in from both left and right. Don't forget, Italy is a fiercely polarized country when it comes to politics, and Berlusconi did a lot to actually exacerbate that. So the left really hated him. So it's been interesting to see how leading left-wing politicians have been kind of come fast out of the blocks today to pay tribute, say he was a titan, historical figure, strode the world stage, that kind of thing. Which reflects, on the one hand, how good I think Italians are at paying homage to the departed, but also I think really shows you that he is, to a certain extent, like him or hate him, considered here in Italy to be a real larger-than-life figure who put Italy, for better or worse, on that world stage.
And is there anyone that really rivals him for sort of dominating politics for such a long time?
Well, I mean, you go back before him to people, socialist leader Bettino Craxi, but since then we had Matteo Renzi, who was sort of had bags of charisma and was seen as a kind of centrist or left-leaning version of Berlusconi. He then fell on his own sword when he failed in a referendum that he'd organized to try and revamp Italy's constitutional framework. But then Italy kind of descended into a sort of feast of populism with the Five Star Movement, and is now kind of recovering from that. And I guess the next charismatic figure who's currently, getting her act together is Giorgia Meloni.
Yes, it'd be interesting to see what the future of Italian politics holds. Tom Kington there, the Times correspondent in Rome. Thanks so much for updating on that, remembering Silvio Berlusconi.